Welcome back. Let's complete our discussion on deep visibility query syntax. The next one is datetime. Now, datetime can be greater than, less than, or in between, which works pretty much the same as the other one, but it does require an entire thing here. You have to have November 18th, 2021, 5:14, and 5 seconds. Now, if you get rid of any of these things, it won't actually return anything. So between becomes pretty important, or you have to do usually the greater than or equal to, because to have it down to the final second is not usually going to be useful. However, also remember that you can run a file with the actual time frame here. So if in this one, it has to be greater than November 18th, 2021, and at 5:14 and 5 seconds. However, if that's not within the last 48 hours, you will not get any information on this. Go back to F again. Is the file executable? There are only two options here. Is it true or is it false? So if I put in there and said the target file is executable and I said is false, this will give me all the times when the target file is not executable in the last 48 hours, which would bring back a great number of events. We've used the and between things on a regular basis. So I want to find all of the files where the executable is false and the file path contains any case, foobar, just like that. That's a completely valid statement. But we not only do we have and, but we also have or. So notice this gives me a problem as soon as I type in or, and in fact, it won't even let me do autocomplete now. So if I want to do another file path, like this, I'm getting the little underscore telling me that there's a problem. Now, it could be because file path was wrong. Well, no, that's not okay. Oh, now I got it lit up blue, so I know that's okay. So if I put my mouse over this, it does give me a clue as to why it doesn't like it. So it gives me a couple things here. There's no unnecessary characters at the end of the query. Well, there's not. And now here's the next one. To combine conditions with and or in the same query, only one operator command can be outside of the parentheses. So that is our problem here. The reason why this doesn't work is it doesn't know how to read this. Because if I were to say target file is executable and contains foobar, or target file contains test. So in other words, if it's these two together and then this one is separate, I'll get one set of things. However, if target file is executable is false is outside and its file path contains foobar or test, then that would be a different set of results. So consequently, it wants parentheses. So if I did this, everything's okay because now it knows that I want file path is foobar or test, and so either of these things is true and it's not executable. However, if I went the other way, I put parentheses here, got rid of this one, put another one here, and got rid of this one. Now, the other way is the thing. I want something that has foobar and is not executable, but I could also have anything that contains test, but it could be executable. So keep in mind that's how you put those together. Just quickly, here are the rules written out, and most specifically the query limits that you're going to come across. The maximum number of characters is 8,192, so if your query goes beyond that, you're going to need to split it into multiple queries. Maximum number of operators we talked about. You can only have 20 things. So that's an operator is a field and a value and an and or an or. You can have up to 20 of those before you have a problem. And the maximum number of values for one operator is 100. This would be the in statement. So I can have up to 100 things in something else. And that's the query limits. We won't go beyond that. All values are put into quotes. Even numeric values are in quotes. So when we're looking for numeric values, they have to quotation mark each one out. We talked about the parentheses. We talked about the date time format, month, day, year, hour, minute, second. And there is a comma that goes between each thing. You can put a space after the comma. The spaces are not looked at in our queries, so you can put as many as you want in. It does count towards your maximum characters, but if you want to add more for readability's sake, you can, but they're just simply ignored. If you are going to go beyond the query limits, let's say your query is extraordinarily long, it can be shortened and then broken up. For example, if you wanted to look up 32,000 different usernames, you can do them in groups of 100. The API would allow you to break those queries up into smaller values or smaller groups, and then run each of the queries individually and then amalgamate the results programmatically. So it's not impossible to deal with things that are outside the query limits, but the user interface is no longer an option. You'll need to use it through the API and figure it out that way.